Hey guys, in today's video I will talk about how you can improve Demon1's routine for AimLabs. I'm minigod, so the guy that you can see holding world record on this task for example, in Demon1 routine that most of you already played. I do coaching, I've had an opportunity to work with pro players as well, and in today's video, which will be a very short one, I would want to give some alternative tasks that you could use in place of the ones that Demon1 used in his routine, so we can improve even faster. Terrible. When it comes to strafe track, well, this task is definitely beneficial in a way, especially when we are starting out, because it can help us with horizontal smoothness and very basic readjustments to strafes. It does not require much precision, or more like really often we are present with very big targets, so they are not really getting us any challenge that we might feel inside of the game while trying to aim at those motions. A lot of you might struggle with AD strafing targets, and with this task, if you already have some sort of efficiency within aiming, this one might not be as helpful as other ones, because there is not much precision involved, and Valorant is a game of precision. If you want to improve Demon1's routine, this task would have to be changed to something else that actually trains your readjustments better and introduces more precision for Valorant. A good task that you could use instead of strafe track would be VT control strafes Valorant. It is more precise version of strafe track with more strafes and a smaller target, so it requires more precision. The second task would be Valorant sidestep tracking. It has faster strafes, which challenges us more on reactivity aspect, which, if we will get used to it, will help us way better than the strafe track task. Or we can even use clicking tasks like Mini's headshot strafe click. On this task we are present with 80 strafing target, very small one, head size, and we need to click it 3 times in order to eliminate it. And we can also try VT headshot strafe multi-click. Headshot task, when it comes to this scenario, it is actually pretty good, as it trains our reflexes to horizontal static target, which usually forces the need of a flick and a micro correction. However, the problem of this task is that it's not requiring that much of a precision from us, as target is relatively big in comparison to what we see in Valorant, and because of that we might rush the process of aiming, which might end up with us getting some sort of a bad habit of rushing our shots inside of the game, when we need to be more precise and deliberate, so that's something that we would want to change. If you want to change this task to something cool and you still want to work on your horizontal flicks, a good task would be VT Valorant small flicks. On this task you have 2 static targets, there's not much reflexes involved. If you want to add that reflex aspect in which you react to newly spawned target, then you could try playing VT one target Valorant, as this task introduces a moving target that we need to react to, and each time it spawns it has different acceleration, so different speed, different size, and this makes us train our flicks, click timing on a moving target, and reflex part that we also have on headshot task. VCT Latam King, a classic static task that I've played long time ago as well. It has slightly bigger targets, so the main focus here is to get our initial flicks down. The only problem with this task is that inside of Valorant, when we do have a better crosshair placement, we will mainly be doing smaller flicks, so we also need to aim at smaller targets because heads are smaller. So ideally we would want to play something that adds more precision into our game. And a good task that can help us to add more precision and introduce us to smaller flicks would be VT vibe shot chaining. A great task that kind of like trains our flicks and micro corrections to slightly evasive targets, which is much more close to what we will be doing inside of the game, as heads are small, not big as the targets on the king task. Another good task will be CG adjust click micro. The idea on this task is to train our first shot accuracy on slightly moving targets, so we can work on our micro corrections as well. If you want to still train some white flicks that are present on VCT Latam King, and you still would want to add some precision into it, I would recommend using a task called VT Multiflick, as it mixes both big targets while also adding up smaller ones like on 6-shot for example, for more precision. Multi-shot from AimLabs. It is like a classic scenario, like a very popular one, probably popularized more by Horkus, as he used to hold world record on this task. It is more often like a Warmup task. It doesn't really challenge us in terms of precision. It's more about rushing our shots as quickly as possible so we get more hits. At times we might not even be able to look at what we are doing with our mouse. It's kind of like we will rely on our habits and reflexes alone. Inside of the game, we are present with pressure. However, we need to be aiming at smaller targets, and this task might not really help us with having that precision down for these smaller targets. So a good task that we could use instead of multi-shot will be VT pulse shot precision. This task forces more flicks and corrections, while also adding up that pressure aspect of wanting to kill the targets as quickly as possible. If you play multi-shot to emulate the pressure, it might not be as good as this one. Grid shot. Well, with this one, you probably already know that aiming at this type of targets that are like this big is not that much of a help for Valorant, so it's more often like a filler in Demon1 routine. I will definitely switch it up to something else to make my training more sufficient for Valorant, and a good alternative for this task would be pretty much anything that is not grid shot. But if you don't really know what to put here in the routine, I would probably use something that replicates the Valorant aim way more, and a good task for that might be, for example, VT blink click Valorant, as it trains our micro corrections on a small target, our click timing on a moving target, and we need to also flick to that click timing target. Lastly, I would want to say that this video is not meant to be toxic, as I'm very proud that we are actually getting more pro players in the world of aim trainers. However, we need to make sure that people that start using aim trainers will actually play scenarios that can bring them more benefits for the game, because we kind of like want to avoid the misconception that aim trainers are useless when players are playing tasks like grid shot for improvement, right? So we want to play tasks that can provide us with much more benefits in long term. And that's the goal of this video. I kinda wanted to present some scenarios that might help you better in place of the ones that Demon1 plays. So if you're like at a higher level, or pretty much you would want to just be good at the game and you don't really have as many hours as Demon1 in the game, these ones will help you better. Thank you for watching and have a nice training. Warm-up. So, ramp protocol has 4 phases, and each one has its own goal that makes sure that every single element supports each other in order to create like a very solid routine. Getting warmed up with this routine will not only get you ready for the game, as any other routine, but will also help you tackle your overall long-term skill development. First phase of the warm-up, race, on this